WrestleMania 3, one of the greatest pay-per-views with some of the greatest matches on of all time. How can you change this, some people say? How can you reboot it and do some fantasy bookings? Well, there's some matches that should be changed. There's some matches that just should be taken off. There is matches that need to happen that never happened. And superstars that just weren't on the card that could have been used. Let's reboot it. Let's reboot WrestleMania 3. So as you know, I always like to show you the champions that were from the last pay-per-view. After the last pay-per-view finished, the champions were Hulk Hogan. We had Macho Man as the Intercontinental Tag was the Dream Team, and Moolah there was the Women's Champion. But we've had a year between WrestleMania 2 and WrestleMania 3. So was there any title changes in that 1 year? Yes, there was one. 3 to 4 months before WrestleMania 3 on Saturday night's main event, the Dream Team dropped the titles, dropped the tag team titles to the Dynamite Kid and Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldogs. So the British Bulldogs were your new tag team champions. And there's a reason why we've done this. So now our champions before we go into WrestleMania 3 are Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, the British Bulldogs and the Fabulous Moolah. They're our champions before we go into WrestleMania 3. But first of all, before we show you the rules, we've got to show you who we've taken off the card and who we're putting on the card. Now I'm taking off the card. These guys are going into the WrestleMania Battle Royal, except for the midgets. The midgets are all getting taken off. We're not having the squash midget match. I don't like that match. So Don Morocco, you're going in the Battle Royal. Hillbilly Jim's going in the Battle Royal. Danny Davis is going in the Battle Royal. Billy Jack Haynes and Butch Reed are going in the Battle Royal as well. So they're not having one-on-one matches or tag team matches now. These guys are coming off the card. Hillbilly Jim, you've had your time to shine. You haven't done it in my fantasy world the last three years worth of pay-per-views, and in your review, Don, you've just been losing, so you're out of here. Getting put onto my card is George the Animal Steele. He was just a manager for this pay-per-view. He's not going to be managing Ricky Steamboat in the Intercontinental title match now. That's not happening. And Dino Bravo was manager as well. He was managing the Dream Team. I don't like that in my world. That's not happening. You're going to have a match instead. Axel Jim Duggan's having a match. Kamala could have been used. Why didn't they use Kamala? Kamala should have been used for WrestleMania 3. I'm using Kamala. Kamala's going to be awesome. Demolition. We're going to make Demolition have their pay-per-view debut at WrestleMania 3. They were young. They were a new team. They were newly formed. They were fresh. We're using them. We're putting them on the spotlight straight away. They were hardly used at the time, but we're going to use them. And Mr. Wonderful, you're getting the match as well. So he's coming on the card. So let's go to the rules. You know my rules if you've been watching since the first episode. Anyone on the WWE roster can be booked if they're officially signed. Once an official contract is expired, a superstar cannot be booked anymore. Doesn't matter if it's the day before, we're not going to cheat. Injured superstars can be booked. We will use injured superstars. I don't care if you've got a broken wrist or finger or a torn bicep, you're wrestling. So due to storylines being changed, the history's changed as well. So they're not injured anymore in my world of the rebooking. And let's book pay-per-view smart, because storylines will continue for the next week and the next pay-per-view. So we're jumping into WrestleMania 3. This is episode 4. I think Survivor Series is next week, I'm pretty sure. Survivor Series 87, but let's get through this. Let's make some more storylines and feuds to get to that pay-per-view. So originally the Can-Am Connection, Canadian America, Can-Am Connection defeated Morocco and Orton in the opening match, but we're changing that, we're changing history. We're having Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov take on the Can-Am Connection in the opening match of WrestleMania 3. And we're going to have the Can-Am Connection go over and make the crowd pop like no tomorrow. Good up-and-coming tag team, young tag team. Rick Martel is going to become a star. I'm going to make him a star in my fantasy world, how he should have been. This is where it all starts for Rick Martel. Next up, we've got Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's making his pay-per-view debut up against the big King Kong Bundy. When the referee's not looking, Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's going to be dirty and he's going to use his 2x4 and he's going to get that win. But you know what? Who cares? Crowd loves it. Hacksaw gets the win for his first pay-per-view. This is epic. This is an epic match. Why was this not booked? Why was Hacksaw not even on the card? That's what I'm asking. This would have been a better match. A better match than King Kong Bundy flattening some midgets. Or little people, sorry. There may have been a new team. The match number 3, we got Demolition, the new Demolition team, taking on the Killer Bees, the former tag team champions. They've lost they've lost belts back in now the day. They were champs though. And Demolition put themselves on the map, beating the former tag team champions. Demolition get the win. Crowd are like, who are these guys? But history's going to be made. History's shown. Look at these guys. Who are these guys? Why are they on WrestleMania 3? Well, they're on fucking my WrestleMania 3. I don't care if they're new. They're getting on the card. Some matches you just can't change, or you just can't find another opponent for a certain superstar when you're rebooking a pay-per-view. Sometimes WWE just did get it right, and they got it right with this match. They got it right with Honky Tonk Man winning this match. We're going to keep this the same. Jake the Snake up against Honky Tonk Man. Alice Cooper. Fans would have gone nuts seeing Alice Cooper there. This has to stay the same. There's a few matches I've kept the same on this card, but the outcome is different. This has to stay the same. So I've got the Fabulous Rougeau brothers. They're going up against the Dream Team. Now remember, the Dream Team on the very first episode formed on WrestleMania 1. WrestleMania 2, they won the tag titles. Now WrestleMania 3, full circle, the Rougeaus get the win. Hammer is pissed off. These guys are breaking up. Hammer attacks Beefcake and beats him hard. This is going to set up their feud, and we're going to have a good fun feud with these guys, with the Dream Team breaking up now. But I'm breaking up the Dream Team after only 2 years being together. But at least they got the titles at WrestleMania 2 and formed at WrestleMania 1 and broke up at WrestleMania 3. It's a whole nice story that we'd all like to watch back if we could. And that sets up the Rougeaus to be a tag title contenders later on down the track. Now another match that I could not change, the Intercontinental Championship match, Macho Man Randy Savage up against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The only change in this match, it will stay the same classic, the same match, but we're getting rid of George the Animal Steele. I did not like George the Animal Steele being outside the ring for that match. So we're scrapping that. We're having another nice battle. Remember the Wrestling Classic on Wrestling Reboot. Macho Man defeated Ricky Steamboat with brass knuckles, so he definitely wants some revenge, and he also wants that belt. Classic, new champion, new Intercontinental Champion. He's held it for a year since WrestleMania 2 and then loses it a year later. Great storylines told. Classic match still. We've got the WrestleMania Battle Royal. Last year's WrestleMania Battle Royal winner for WrestleMania 2 was Hercules. This year, we're going to have all the stars that couldn't make the one-on-one matches and all the ones that I put in there battling it out. But we're having Dino Bravo go over. Dino Bravo was winning the WrestleMania 3 Battle Royal instead of being the manager for the Dream Team. He's going to get his solo singles push. He's going to be seen by everyone that he's a big, strong guy. And we're going to give Dino Bravo a push. But we're going to try and book him as hard as we can. We're going to see what we can do with him. We might fail like WWE failed, but let's muck around and see what we can do with Dino Bravo, what they didn't do. Dino Bravo wins the trophy. Former Friends Collide. We're getting Former Friends Collide and the face turn that we wanted from Roddy Piper. He's fighting his former friend Bob Orton. It's over. Their friendship is over. He's blaming Bob Orton for all those losses against Hulk Hogan for not winning the world title. Blaming it all on Orton. Fans are all on his side now. We don't want to see Roddy Piper again going up against Adrian Adonis. We want to see former friends collide, because that's what happens at WrestleMania. Former friends collide. Love it. This would be a good match. Roddy Piper's going over. He's showing that he's still at the top of his game and still a world title contender. Face turn. You're going downhill. Sorry, Orton. Sorry. You should have used the RKO. Match number 9. This is kind of a squash match. This will probably only be a 3 to 4 minute match. I apologize to any Wwe Wrwe fans out there because I myself was a big Wwe Wrwe fan. I loved Coco and I loved Frankie, but Hercules won the Battle Royal last year's WrestleMania 2. We're pushing him in storyline and we're going to make Hercules a big deal, bigger than he should have been. And unfortunately, Coco's the one that's going to get squashed in the meantime. Hercules, you're winning this one in a squash match. Don't worry, Coco, you're going to come back from this. We're going to do something with you. But this is Hercules' time at the moment. We're building him up since WrestleMania 2, and he's getting stronger. I had nothing for either of these two when I was rebooting this and rewriting it, but I want to keep it the same because I actually like this match. I like this match on the original card, and I actually think this was a great concept of the loser bows match. We're having the King Harley Race win this one, and Junkyard Dog is going to pretend he's going to kiss his feet, but he's going to get the old hitting the nuts instead, and he's going to steal the crown. And their feud's going to go on. He'll steal the crown and the cape. He ain't bowing to no one at all. And but Harley Race is winning. He's winning. He's still the king. He's still the king. The original match. This is the original match, and we're keeping it as it is. You're probably thinking this is an odd match, but it could have been fun and it could have been a good match at WrestleMania 3. Kamala should have been on the card. Kamala should have been on the card, and George the Animal Steel instead of in the corner of Ricky Steamboat. I hated that. Should have just been one-on-one with no manager. But anyway, this is so much better. Imagine these two colliding and looking at each other going, it would be good. It would be a good match. We'd have Kamala win in the end and pin George the Animal Steel. A nice, fun match that people would actually want to go back and watch. I would want to watch this. Tell me now in the comments, would you not have wanted to watch this match at WrestleMania 3? Because I fucking surely would have. I definitely would have, because this would have been cool. So that's a fun match. That's a fun filler. And Kamala's going over. Kind of the original match. They did fight at WrestleMania 3. But Tito Santana, it was a 6-man tag. Danny Davis was with them and Tito Santana was with them. Not anymore. They're having their rematch. This all started, if you've been watching all my fantasy bookings, at the Wrestling Classic. These guys jumping and forming. And then WrestleMania 2, they had a match. British Bulldogs won that one. So now this is for the tag titles. British Bulldogs are the tag team champs in my world. And we're going to have new tag team champions. They're 1 for 1 at WrestleMania. This feud is going to be one epic feud that just keeps on going. I love it. You love it. Tell me that this is not good. New tag team champions. And another thing that's just come full circle, because, you know, now it's for the tag titles. I love this idea. Just a fun filler match before we get to the world title. We all need a piss break, but I'm not saying Tito Santana is a piss break competitor. I wouldn't go for a piss while these matches were on. I always watch Tito. Tito would take on Adonis. This is better than him being in a 6-man tag match. This is better than him taking on Roddy Piper. We want to see this, a nice quick 6-minute match. Tito Santana getting the win, and the crowd would be booing Adonis so much in this match. But this would be a pretty good match and a pretty good filler before we get to the main event match. I like it. And in the main event of WrestleMania 3, in my opinion, one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time, you cannot say that. Look, I won't say it. People will hate me and give me thumbs down, but I think this is better than the Ricky Steamboat Macho Man match, because this is just such an epic story behind it. And because I like stories, I like to tell stories, I also like to see a damn good match as well. So don't get me wrong, that's a fucking fantastic match. But this had such a big story behind it, and no one could believe that Hogan slammed Andre. This match stays the same. Nothing's going to change here. It's going to be Hogan winning. Andre, you know, he's turned heel now. He's with Bobby the Brain Heenan. He's already beaten Don Morocco, then Mr. Wonderful, WrestleMania 1 and 2, and now he's taking on Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's the man that beats him, and still Hogan hasn't lost the title since he started with it at WrestleMania 1 and now Fantasy World, so that stays the same. So our champions after WrestleMania 3 Reboot, we've got Hulk Hogan still the champion. No one's taken the title off him, and I think I know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get Hogan to drop the title now. Maybe. Intercontinental title, Ricky Steamboat. We got new tag champs, the Hart Foundation, and we got the fabulous Moolah as the ladies champion. So that's all looking good. We've got a nice bunch of world champions right there. There's the original card, and there is the Reboot card. I like the Reboot card better. Yes, the World Championship is the same, but you know, Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov versus the Killer Bees. Well, I'd rather the Can-Man Connection versus Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. We've got, you know, Billy Jack Haynes and Hercules. I'd rather see good old Wwe Wrwe versus Hercules. Roddy Piper, Bob Orton is so better than Roddy Piper, Adrian Adonis. There's so many, there's a few that are still the same. I don't want to see the midgets fight. Kamala, George Steele match, that's just one of my dream matches I'd like to see, and I didn't even know it was a dream match of mine, and it existed in the dream match world until I could put them together in this type of match when doing this, so that's pretty cool. Butch Reed and Wwe Wrwe, we don't want to see that, so no one's going to go back and watch that, and Billy Jack Haynes, Hercules. I put Hercules, I put a U there in Hercules. Sorry about that, it's meant to be H-E. That's what happens when you do stuff in a rush. And but there we go. There's the cards. I'll leave the cards up on the screen at the end of it. Thanks for watching. Do us a favour. Every week I'm going to do each pay-per-view. Next week, so it's every Thursday I'll bring these videos out. Wednesday in America. Next one will be Survivor Series 1987. That will be episode 5, Survivor Series 1987. And I'm gonna really change up Survivor Series. I love Survivor Series tag matches. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up. That helps me. I'll keep doing these. I don't care if one person watches or if it's 100 people that watch. I don't care if it's 10,000 to 10 million, which would never ever happen in my lifetime. But I'll still keep making it even if there is only one person that enjoys it, and you let me know down in the comments that you enjoy it, and let me know what you would have done for WrestleMania 3 Reboot in the comments. But I'll leave that up there for a few minutes before the video finishes. But thanks heaps for watching, and give me a thumbs up. See you!